Yeah, we would be.
Okay, I'm denying the request.
ShireSociety.com. Join up and move to New Hampshire for more freedom.
So were you provided copies of the, this is what it looks like, and then the last. And then the last 2 pages of it. Sir, I'm sorry, there's no photography in the committee room. Thank you.
I'm sorry, excuse me, what do you say?
I said there's no photography in the committee room. Thank you. Got it.
Under what law would I be prohibited from filming?
So this is, we have House rules. Please direct that question to the Speaker's office. Thank you.
Well, I need to know more. If you're going to try and censor me, I need to know more, ma'am.
Excuse me, we're in the middle of a hearing. Ann, what's the title of that? I'm sorry, I can't find it.
This says Department of Justice FY 2018-2019 budget. And then the last 2 pages of that. Would you like my copy?
I don't want to take from you.
I have it. What's the cover look like?
I know, I
Looks
don't
like
think.
that.
Yeah, it was handed out on Friday at the end of the day.
Mine was just sitting right there. Yeah, mine was too.
Oh, because they handed it out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go back to the office.
Just in the pages she's going to talk
It's
about.
just the last 2 pages.
Last 2 pages.
Well, the last 4, they're double-sided.
Any folks going to make this move
Representative Ober, I'll give you this to start. How's that?
Thank you.
So, what we've done is, Tom Canford has put together the performance measurements and what the actual requirements of the grant will be for ICAC.
Thank you. And we appreciate coming back and talking to us about it. I think the governor probably knows a whole lot more than we know, and so it showed up in HB2 and we're.
You understand what ICAC is?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got that. So your concerns were more, what are the performance measures, how is this going to be dispersed and that sort of thing?
And how are we going to measure? Wanted to talk to you about doing that. I don't want to put an unreasonable burden on you, but I think.
What law would I be violating to film?
I just want to tell you that, okay. And again, I'm sensitive to
Well, tell me about the law. What law would I be violating? Can the chairman request censorship?
How do you guys feel about that?
I guess you're going to leave and let me do what I do.
So you look at.
Just telling you what the chairman is requesting.
Yeah, we would be.
Okay, I'm denying the request.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Kolodnicki. You take care.
Here's how we, I don't know what it would take to do that. I certainly don't want to be publishing names of minor children who have been attacked in public or giving their address. See how the money was spent. There's no sense to spend a lot of money copying reports either. Questions from the committee on this?
I think that was the intent of the report, just to have it not onerous, but just to have something top line like this.
And I think that's fairly common.
Ms. Rice, why should you guys get any money at all if you're appealing this ballot selfie law? I mean, that's just a crazy expensive money, isn't it?
We are obligated to defend the laws that the legislature has passed, and we think that there is a colorable legal argument to be made on the constitutionality of the law.
I appreciate the answer, but you did say that you didn't have enough staff to do things.
Well, I think there's a general, there's staff to do investigations versus staff to do an appellate job. That's a very entirely different kinds of cost, and we will do the supporting of legislation as a routine matter in the office.
All right, I don't always like your answers, but I appreciate that you provide them.
Okay.
All right, take care. Okay, so what's happened now is that I guess they've called more security to the scene, and they're conferring in there a little bit further away from the cameras. Will you be prosecuting me for trying to film this meeting?
I wouldn't comment on that.
All right, take care, guys. How are you? Mr. Evans?
Burke, Joe.
Oh, okay. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, it's apparently it's a work session.
What law prevents the press from photographing or filming it? I beg your pardon?
I'm not going to answer that right now.
No.
No comment.
Okay.
We can talk off camera. We'll be more than happy to explain.
You're not going to be talking off camera unless you physically take the camera away from me, so.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
So what happens if I continue filming in there? And what law would I be violating, if any?
This is the $10 million that moves out of general funds into the grant. Maybe you have the Grupo Bucks.
Well, there's a number of pieces here. So I have a House Bill 2 amendment for what you just described. I also have a corresponding House Bill 1 amendment.
So he's motioned a rep.
Yeah,
Or somebody.
Yeah, there's quite a few pieces here.
Members can ask questions.
Sir, you're being very disruptive to our people.
It's just filming. Are you against freedom of the press? What law would I be violating to be here? Does that make sense?
Press is press, but when you're asked by, under House rules, the chair has control of what the chair feels you're doing is disruptive. You were politely asked to leave, and I just don't understand your refusal to do so. And if you're not apt enough to take notes and articulate what you heard, I don't know what kind of press you are, but not very adequate, I would say, under those terms.
So what happens to me if I stay? Will you have me arrested?
Gentleman right to your left.
Will
He's
you
going to talk to you.
Am I required to leave?
They're trying to conduct a hearing.
Well, I'm trying to just sit here. How is that a problem?
You're using a camera,
They
and
don't
we have
want you to
house
use the
rules
phone.
that you are not supposed to be.
It's not a public hearing.
Am I required to follow House rules?
You are required not to use your camera.
Why are you conducting this meeting in secret in that case if I can't film
You
it?
can sit here and listen.
Session. You're interrupting.
Ladies and
Well,
gentlemen, we're in the middle
Please.
of a hearing, we are not bickering with somebody in the audience, even if he wishes to be argumentative. Please do not engage. We are working on 3 things that Mr. White is passing out. Thank you.
I am leaving, but don't expect it to be fast.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Watch behind you, the door's there.
I stand corrected on 4 things that Mr. White is passing out. 5 things that Mr. White is passing out.
Hi.
All set. Thanks. Yeah.
So, did you just break the law by removing me?
I did not, Dave. You're welcome to stay in the hearing. They just said no filming, no recording, because it's not a public hearing.
How can they ban filming?
It's-
What authority
I
do
don't
they
think- I
have?
don't think it's banning, it's a house rule. And it's disruptive to the chair and to the members.
If it's not banned, then I can go back in, can't I?
It's their rule, it's a house rule, Dave, that's all. It's not a public hearing, you're not being disrupted by being there and taking notes, they just don't want any recording going on. That's all I'm telling you.
You know how far this could go in court?
I'm just doing what I'm requested to do.
Do you always do
You're
what?
welcome to go back in, Dave, they just don't want you to film if they feel it's disruptive.
Do you always do what you're requested to do, even if the request is possibly illegal?
It's not an illegal request if it's a house rule. I work for the general court, so I'm just doing what I'm asked to do. I work for the representatives, and they asked me to, they advised you clearly, and you have it videotaped, okay, that they don't want you to film and be disruptive with the filming.
Should reporters allow the government to stop them from filming
Are there other
government
reporters in
meetings?
there?
Is that the CIA in there?
No, sir. No.
It's supposed to be a government meeting that the public's supposed to be able to document.
But it's a work session, and they have a house rule.
Yeah, a work session about my money.
I'm just explaining what they asked me to do, Dave.
Just following orders is not an excuse. Should be ashamed, Joe.
Dave, I'd talk further with you down in my office if you'd like. I'd be happy to talk to you, but I just don't know why you have to film me every time I want to speak with you. If you don't trust what I'm saying, then you don't have to listen to me.
I think what you say here is the public's business.
No, it's not. Not if this is private business in here. This isn't a public hearing. It's not like a house session.
Private, they're discussing a state budget in
I
there.
understand that. If it was a public meeting, Dave, I don't have any problem with it.
Well, they just get to decide which parts
They have house rules for
of their...
procedure. And this is a procedure. It's called a work session, and they have a house rule that applies to it.
Man, I think you're on thin ice. And I think
I'd be
the
more than happy to talk to
the
you,
public
but I'm not
will
gonna have to
decide.
film every word I say.
I'm not going to talk to you without it.
Well, guess what? I have a right to privacy too.
Well, yeah, when you're at home.
And here.
No, not here.
And either do you.
Yeah,
What you're saying
I
is
think
can't-
I think
can't
that's
just-
fair.
I can't have
Yeah.
a chat with you about anything because you want to record me because I have no privacy.
Everything
So now
government
it's back on
officials
me,
do
so
should,
A government official?
everything government officials
I'm
do
an
should
at-will
be,
employee for the general court.
you
Charged with
don't
keeping the security of the building, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my job.
you don't consider yourself a government official?
I consider myself a security chief for the general court, an at-will employee doing my job. Like I said, if you want to speak further, that's fine, but I have privacy as well, and I shouldn't have to discuss everything I do publicly for your audience. Thank you. I'll start standing. Little disappointed in you, Dave.
I'm disappointed in you too, Joe.
Good, sir. How are you?
The old world is collapsing, and it's going to take its slave driver governments with it. But what will rise up in their place? In New Hampshire, the Shire Society has a plan, an updated web forum, and a history of action.
It didn't take long to come up with a plan.
You can sign up right now at shiresociety.com.